Hey, this is Max. Welcome back to another CSR2 video. This season's supply cup is the Kia Stinger GT, and I wanted to give you a quick show of how to do this in a very easy way. You can always do all supply cups with the stock car. You can always tune the car, use nitrous in third or fourth with adjusted tune to beat the supply cup by a little bit. What I'm going to show you is the classic negative Evo tune, which simply will destroy the supply cup and makes it very easy with or without fusions, whether you have stage 6 or not. So this particular car I'm using has stage 5 upgrades, 0 fusions. One of the tricks to this setup is simply a part drop negative tune. So all you're doing is you're putting intake to stock. Now, you can alternate this possibility also with dropping, say, all 3 of these stages down to 2 or 3 as an alternative. This just makes it easy for me to keep track of. And also, obviously, if it works for supply, for a restriction trial, you could do the same thing for T3 with this car. Now, the tune is very straightforward and is very similar to how you would tune most cars with a negative Evo tune, which is to lower the final drive until you see the negative 999. You put the tire at 0-100. Nitrous can be short, long. It really doesn't make that much of a difference when you're doing this kind of a tune. Obviously, you do want nitrous because you're going to use it in second gear to push the car. So nitrous is important in that sense, but it doesn't really matter what the duration is because it doesn't make a difference with the Evo change. So I left it at 3.5, which is what I was using with a full Evo tune. Now, you'll see that when you're doing the tuning, if you start here, the car goes to negative pretty quick on the Evo. To get a positive tune, you would actually have to raise the final tire settings so you can get a positive run. Now, this is like a 10.8. Once you start dropping this to 0, you'll see it goes to negative, but it's not really very high negative. That means even though you're lowering the final drive and you're getting negative tune, you can see it keeps going more and more negative. It doesn't actually beat dyno. This is just a bad tune, and you'll still run around what the dyno says in the quarter mile, and therefore the supply cup will match you in the quarter mile. What you actually need to do is get a drop like this, where there's a big drop, in essence, what many of us in the game call a cliff drop in Evo, for you to get the actual adjusted dyno where the dyno is now 16, but you can still run 11. Once you have that set up, you can now go to supply cup with confidence that you would destroy it and therefore make it relatively easy. The point of doing this isn't to just abuse the system, which many players do feel that this kind of a tune is kind of a game abuse. Yes, it is, but it is part of how the game was designed. I don't think Natural Motion can do anything about this. They have done so in trying to set up certain cars to avoid this, but for us who are just trying to get through the supply cup, this particular tune is useful. Now, running it stock, you get about a 1/10 difference too. So you don't have to actually do any upgrades to beat the supply cup. You could just hold off on upgrading the car or set it back to stock to do it. Either way works. This one, even though it says extreme, because the opponents that the game's going to give you, you'll have no problem. Don't launch perfect. You can launch a little early, and off you go. Nitrous in second, and you will hit third gear, so you shift into third, and you have a half a track lead on the opponent near the end of the supply cup still. Now, this is way faster than the opponent. I'm at race 22. I'm going to go to race 23, show you one more time. Then I'll go back and put it to stock. I'll run it stock once. Then I'll run it full Evo tune once, just to show you the kind of difference that you'll see in difficulty. All right. So again, very easy here. Shift to third. You're not going to get out of third because of the low final drive. Now, with a full Evo tune, obviously you'll have to shift a lot more, but you can use nitrous later. It'll accomplish a slight dyno beating as well, so that should still get you through. So there are different ways to do this. This is just my way of making it really easy, but you don't have to do it this way. Certainly, there's no wrong way, so to speak, to do this. Now, let's put the car to stock and run it because that's the other alternative, which I should demonstrate since we are talking about it. Okay, so fully stock or stock with just nitrous, if you want to do a little bit of nitrous, um, would be fine as a method to get through this. But for the purpose of testing, I'm going to put it to full stock. We'll go here. You'll see that the challenge changes. It's no longer extreme because it's just hard. And it's going to stay this way even to the last race. Hard doesn't mean unbeatable, right? As long as you launch right, drive right, you will beat it. So stock is the other alternative to make it easier for you as a supply cup. This works for every single car as long as the car is drivable. If there's crazy glitches going on, obviously that makes it a lot more difficult. In this case, this car doesn't seem to have any glitch. It just drives the way it drives. You will edge forward. I think I lost. Yep. Okay, so little tight there. Almost had him, but it's stock. I should have beaten him. Maybe I wasn't driving it right. That's what I get for cheating all the time, right? All right, so that was basically stock. I'll go ahead and put it back to stage 5 and tune it and use the tune method. When you tune, you can always run a car slightly different than when you have it stock because the tune gives it a slightly different way of getting the best run out of it. Without testing it for the best shift patterns, of course, I'm kind of winging it here, but if you just tune it, well, actually, maybe I need a little more nitrous there. Let's leave that there for now. Let's tweak this. And let's go to 53. All right, so right around here. Now you want to look at what you're seeing here. Top speed is 145, 10.588. So 145 happens right now in fourth. That looks like it's a fourth gear tune almost. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You already hit 145. So you're not even going to use these higher gears. That's for the max evo. Now, you can always tune it to third gear, which changes it a little bit. May or may not make it easier, but fourth gear, 145. Now it's 143. So it means it needs fourth gear to be about 150, 145, 10.594. It's not the optimal evo yet. You can still tweak that a little bit. Okay, you can always do this and get a little bit of evo drop, but again, the chance of that giving you a huge increase in performance isn't that great. So this is tentatively a good way to get the numbers about as good as I can get it. Okay, so max evo tune 10.584, no fusion, stage 5. Let's go drive it in the supply cup. Again, hard, not impossible. Depending on the opponent you get, they do vary slightly. Most of the time, though, they shouldn't be destroying you down the track. Now, I know I'm ending in fourth gear, so I'm going to use nitrous, probably second or third, depending on how I feel the car is operating. We'll launch it, take a look. Okay, nitrous in third, which will push the car forward and should beat the opponent anyway. And there it is. So it's not to say you can't get through the supply cup with the regular car. It seems that at the 10.5 XX tune, 10.58 I believe was the dyno, I'm beating it by a little bit, and the car is still a little bit slower than my car as far as the opponent's concerned. However, as you get to the last race or two, it does get pretty tight. So it really comes down to your comfort level. Again, easy supply cup supposed to be really, really easy, and therefore I try to make it the way that I basically don't have to worry about missing a shift or not nitrosing at the right time to beat the opponent, or if I get a slightly faster opponent, I don't have to lose that race. That's really the whole point of utilizing the other tune. So again, Max Evo tune still works as long as you shift and nitrous around the right time. And let's go back and get the negative Evo tune for that final race just to show, again, the difference in the challenge. Oh wait, I need to drop a part. That's what I forgot. Let's get the intake drop to 0. Where is that intake? Here we go. Boom. All right. Let's go and adjust it. Tweak the tune slightly. There it is. 17.8. And here comes extreme. Now that extreme is because your dyno's 17 seconds, not because it's actually going to be extreme for you. However, the hard, when you have stock and tuned, that is hard. That is actually a challenging race. However, hard doesn't mean impossible. So again, this car can easily do the supply cup without failing. Oh, whoops, 0 RPM drop. Doesn't mean anything. I can still get it. But when you're saying easy, it's really easy. So that's the difference between easy and hard way to do the supply cup. There's nothing wrong with doing it the hard way. You can still get through just fine. May have one loss here and there. Doesn't really waste that much time. But again, 12.5 against a 15.3. And this could have been 11, like a 11.2, 11.5. All right. So that's your easy supply cup. I just went through the first one. They don't really change in difficulty throughout the season. So really, once you have it, you have it. You're going to finish it, no problem. And that's that. Okay, well, that's the easy supply cup. Take a look at the tune. Most of the stuff that you would want to use if you want to negative tune it is in the front part of the video. But if you made it this far, you understand that there are other ways to do things, and there's no quite wrong way to get it done. I hope you liked the video. I hope it's helpful to you. Feel free to make comments. Let me know what you think. I know some of my viewers have seen all my other Easy Supply Cup tunes, and they've sort of started to figure out the same strategy I use. So it's a strategy, not always the same tune. So understand that you can do this with other cars. And in the future, you may not need me to show you any particular tune to get the same effect. I know one viewer even posted on another video already that he was able to find this tune in a slightly different way, but same effect. So it's a strategy, not always the same exact thing. So you want to think out of the box. You don't want to just be stuck on one idea, but rather use the strategy rather than only focusing on each car as a particular car's tune. Tuning is a fun thing to do in this game. That's what makes the game interesting. So I hope that you pick up some tuning tips from these and slowly get into tuning yourself. As always, appreciate you watching the video. Leave a like if you like the video. If you don't like this type of tuning, you don't have to follow it. If you want to get notifications when I put up these kind of videos, subscribe to the channel so you get notifications. And as always, thank you for watching my video. I'll catch you next time.